In 1984, Disney's theatrical division was in serious trouble. The company had struggled since the death of its founder in 1966. It was ranked 6th in the box office, and the company primarily sustained itself with the revenue from the Disneyland theme parks. Roy Disney, who was dissatisfied with the course the company had taken, used this opportunity to oust CEO and President Ron Miller, bringing in Michael Eisner and Jeffrey Katzenberg, pictured here yelling at a hotel employee at the Four Seasons. Disney's first success in this era came with the release of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The project was almost destroyed due to tensions with the management, but Katzenberg stood by its director, Robert Zemeckis, and the film was completed without interference from upper management. The film made a worldwide gross of $350 million, out of an initial budget of $70 million. It proved to Hollywood that high-quality animated films were economically viable. Katzenberg quickly followed up this success with a string of hits: The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King. The Lion King is the highest-grossing 2D animated film, having earned $784 million domestically and worldwide. And Beauty and the Beast was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Film at the Oscars, losing to Silence of the Lambs. These box office successes were quickly followed by direct-to-video sequels. The bulk of the animation work for these films was produced cheaply overseas, maximizing the profits, which catapulted Disney to envious success. Many new business executives came into the feature animation game hoping to ride on this new wave while it lasted and profit as much as possible before moving on to other franchises. Other media giants tried to capture on the success of this animation boom, including Ted Turner, who bought Hanna-Barbera and produced movies like Cats Don't Dance. Most of these outings were met with failure because of marketing problems, as well as being scorned by critics. Smaller studios also suffered from their lack of comparative promotional strength with that of Disney. Disney's luck turned after the death of board member Frank Wells during a helicopter accident in 1994. People assumed that Eisner would promote Katzenberg to Wells' position. Eisner surprised everyone when he said no. Katzenberg left Disney to form DreamWorks SKG with partners Steven Spielberg and David Geffen. Spielberg brought his assets from Amblimation London to Glendale, California. Katzenberg took many of the animators from Disney to work at his new studio. DreamWorks opened with ambitious 2D animated films like Spirit, Stallion, and the Cimarron, featuring a horse with prominent eyebrows, which progressively performed poorly at the box office. However, their first big successes were found with their connection to Pacific Data Images, a computer graphics company in Redwood City, California. It is through this studio that they produced their first major success, Shrek. With an original budget of $60 million, it garnered a worldwide gross of $484 million, an absolute blowout. DreamWorks has decided to continue producing films under this franchise, planning to reach a grand total of 8 films in this series. With the success of Shrek and the failure of Sinbad, Katzenberg declared that hand-drawn animation was a thing of the past. Disney's 2D animated films also started to underperform financially and critically after Katzenberg's departure. After successes of films like The Lion King and Shrek, living up to the standards of these animations became impossible, especially since animation takes more time than live-action counterparts. Some place the blame on the audience's disinterest in classically animated feature films. Pixar's great success with movies like Toy Story and Monsters, Inc. changed the face of animation. This, combined with the financial boon of Shrek, indicated to studio executives that 3D was the name of the game. In 2003, Disney laid off approximately 1,400 workers in their studios worldwide. The only studios left in production were the ones producing direct-to-video sequels. All the other assets were relocated to their new 3D film development department, starting with Dinosaurs and Chicken Little. These ventures, however, paled in comparison to the acclaim found by Pixar's features. Disney benefited from Pixar's success, as the distribution deal between the two companies was heavily favorable to Disney. The company was heavily reliant on Pixar during that time period, and when Pixar decided that they wouldn't renew their contract and instead shop around for a better deal, it was a crushing blow. Pixar chairman Steve Jobs was not enamored with the leadership of Michael Eisner, citing the box office failures of Treasure Planet and Brother Bear as managerial incompetence, and noting the quality of the video sequels as evidence of artistic bankruptcy. Jobs declared that they would not continue any more contract talks with Disney until Eisner was removed. The company had become bloated with new executives from business school who did not have experience or knowledge within the media of animation or film, and often interfered with the wishes of the production departments. A boardroom rift formed between Roy Disney and Michael Eisner, who forced Roy off the executive board in 2002. He did not leave quietly, however, and started a campaign on the internet with a website called SaveDisney.com. The stockholder meetings became rancorous and unruly as people protested the decision-making of the CEO. In March of 2004, 43% demanded Eisner's resignation. This vote of no confidence was the highest recorded in such a meeting. Eisner was replaced by Robert Iger in 2005, who reinstated Roy Disney to the executive board. A few months later, in 2006, Disney and Pixar announced their deal. The Walt Disney Corporation bought Pixar. Creative leadership across both companies was given to Pixar co-founder and creative head John Lasseter. Pixar then released Ratatouille, which received rave reviews and the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. And that is what brings us to where we are today.